To learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. Okay, so I'm back at the tiny house build again today. Got my sock hat on. That should help alleviate some of the folks who get upset that I don't comb my hair before I get on video, but now I'm sure somebody's gonna complain, you have a sock cap on, it looks stupid. You can't win for losing. So today is a big day for me. We got a long stretch of time without rain. I'm gonna get back on putting the roof on. So I got my rafters up. I got my overhangs cut straight up and down. So now what I have to do is put a fascia plate on those 2x4s. So a fascia plate essentially looks like this plate here that I've got on this side, if I can get the sun out of it. So that's a fascia plate for the peak. So now I got to put a fascia plate over here and on the other side. Now this is going to require a bevel cut on these boards. Otherwise your board, your OSB is going to come down and it's going to be all not solid. Every video I watch from home improvement experts and builders and carpenters say you have to do that. And it's not that much effort other than I got to figure out the bevel, which is kind of difficult for me. I don't have all the proper tools. So I'm just going to use a scrap piece of wood and check. I think it's around 18.5 degree angle. So I'll just adjust my saw to 18.5 degrees. Give that a try. If that doesn't work, then I can adjust the saw until I get the right angle. And then when I have the right angle, I can just take an 8-foot 2x4, rip down the top of it, put it up there, and do that 4 times. Well, 3 more times. Of course, I still got the fascia plates I showed you on the one side. I got to do them on this side too. So I only got 1 on each side. That's all the wood I had at the time. And then tomorrow, I should be able to start putting OSB on the roof so I can get that where it has a roof. Of course, I won't have the metal roofing material that I want to put on top of it, but at least it will be covered. Now, I'm not going to take the tarp completely off today. The tarp needs to stay on because Carolyn's got it all nice and clean in there and I don't want to mess it up. So I'm just going to lay it back a little bit at a time until I get the OSB on. That way the leaves don't fall down in it. But it's not a big critical issue for the ring. Unfortunately, we set the stove up a couple days ago and I had hoped that I didn't have to move it. I really thought I had it where I wanted it, but I had to move it today during that 24-hour rain event we had. So I had the wood stove sitting here and you can see that quite a bit of water accumulated underneath these pavers that I'd set there. So I removed all those pavers. That's not a big deal. We had it where we really liked it set up, but I think I got an idea of where all the measurements are now. The show shouldn't be too hard to get it back where we want it. I'm gonna let that dry out for a couple days while I put the roof on, and then once the roof's on, I'm gonna install the wood stove. Now, I'm not gonna tack down the boards. I'm gonna set the boards up there. I might put, a screw in it just to hold it down. So that way I can start working on the wood stove and get the chimney in place. That way if I mess up a cut, I don't have to pry out all the nails and get the OSB up, unscrew 1 or 2 screws and be done with it, replace the OSB. It's pretty chilly this morning, so I'm gonna bear through that. Somebody suggested that I made a mistake. And they said that I should have stopped cutting firewood throughout the summer and started building a tiny house because now I got all this bad weather I have to deal with in the fall and winter. That doesn't make sense to me. Why would I have stopped cutting firewood throughout the summer? Because then I would be complaining, it's cold and we don't have heat. Firewood makes heat. That's why it's called firewood. You gotta have heat. So no, I did have everything I was supposed to do. The other thing is, I didn't have the materials to build a tiny house over the summer. So it confused me. And this person knows this. They watch every video. I was spending $500 a month. That takes time to accumulate the materials to start building things. So yeah, hindsight, oh yeah, you should have done. But no, I think we did everything perfectly and to our schedule. We're still ahead of schedule. I'm sure we're gonna have this completed before next spring, which is when I expected it to be done, well, in February. So I still got 4 months, about 4 months to go. No, I've done everything right. No, I gotta have firewood. Firewood's very important to survivability in a Missouri winter. Okay, so I'm gonna get started cutting the fascia plates. Okay, so these two boards were for the gables. So I'm going to finish up the gables and then I'll get started on the fascia board on the rafters overhangs. Okay, so I put a board up there. So when I bring my 8-foot board up, I have something to hold the board on that end. That way I don't have to have somebody hold the board while I screw it up over here, which you can't see. Okay, now for the overhang for the rafters, I have to put a fascia board on it. Now, the fascia board has to have a bevel because the roof is at an angle. You want this to come in at an angle also. So I have to cut this corner off right here. So from here, say to here, here to here, I'm gonna have to cut. So my saw has an angle function on it. All circular saws do. So all you got to do is you loosen this screw on it and then you can angle your cut like that. And then I'm just going to use a scrap piece of wood to test it on. Of course, I'm going to screw this scrap piece onto a full-size piece so I got something to hang on to because it'll be too dangerous for me to try to hold on to this and use the saw. All right, so you should be able to see a bevel there somehow or another. Bevel cut. Okay, so after several attempts, I finally got the angle cut right, the bevel. So now I'm just gonna start ripping through some of these 2x4s and hanging up the board onto the overhang. Ta-da! I got 3 of them done. I have 3 sides done now. I ran out of time today, so I won't be able to finish the other side, but that's okay because tomorrow I don't get to work the full day. Tomorrow's Saturday for me. and I talk to family on Saturday morning. So I have to work every day. So I got to quit around 11 o'clock. Well, and I'm already a little late as it is. So I got to wrap up. Still got to get the tools put away, get the tarp kind of flat back over a little bit. But I am so excited about how this worked out. Remember, I built 9 trusses by myself. Never did it before. Just from a drawing that I had. Now, I could have spent $4,000 and built the same thing, but I think I built these for like 250 bucks. And they worked out perfectly. Everything lined up, everything is exactly where it's supposed to be. The angles are all correct. That's incredible to me. For first time, 9 rafters, they're all perfect. Feeling you get of creating something is absolutely amazing. So I hope I can inspire you to create something today. Thanks for watching.